Hello everyone, the first ever World Test Championship is finally here. That's right, since its approval by the ICC in 2010, 2013 has arrived. That's right, 2017 has arrived. That's right, after several matches were suspended and cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, 2021 has finally arrived. It's India versus New Zealand for it all. And how did we come to this inaugural championship series after 144 years of Test cricket? That's easy. The 2-year-long World Test Championship tournament consists of 9 of the world's 12 Test-playing nations. Not all 12.
Don't change the subject.
And rather than being a full round-robin tournament in which everyone played everyone else equally, each team played only 6 of the other 8 teams.
You got a 33 and a third chance of winning.
And since each team played only 6 of the 8 possible opponents, the ICC announced that India and Pakistan would not play against each other in the first and second editions of the tournament. Makes sense so far? Great, because it gets even more confusing.
But I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning.
Like I mentioned before, each team plays 6 other opponents, 3 opponents at home and 3 away. Also, each series consists of somewhere and for some reason between 2 and 5 tests. That way, all participants do not play the same number of test matches, but they do play the same number of series. Are you lost too? Great! And of course, at the end of the league stage, the top 2 teams play in the first ever World Test Championship, starting arbitrarily with the 2019 Ashes series between England and Australia, which has been around for 139 years. The ICC decided that the same number of points would be available from each series regardless of series length, so that countries that played fewer tests were not disadvantaged, obviously. It also decided that points would not be awarded for series results, but for match results only. So in a 5-match series, 20% of the points would be available each match. But in a 2-match series, 50% of the points would be available each match. I mean, common sense here, people. So in case I'm losing you here, and I have no idea how that could possibly be, depending on whether the series is 2, 3, 4, or 5 matches long, the number of points awarded for a single match win would be a half, a third, a quarter, or a fifth of the maximum possible from the series. The ICC also decided, in their infinite wisdom, that a tie should be worth half of a win and that a draw should be worth a third of a win. This all meant that after each match, a side could be awarded a half, a third, a quarter, a fifth, a sixth, an eighth, a ninth, a 10th, a 12th, or a 15th of the total points available from the series, depending on the result and how many matches the series happened to consist of. Simple enough.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
Here, let me try to make this harder for you. Each series would carry a maximum of 120 points, with points distributed as follows. In a 2-match series, 60 points would be awarded for a win, 30 for a tie, 20 for a draw, and 0 for a defeat. In a 3-match series, 40 for a win, 20 for a tie, 13 for a draw, and of course 0 for a defeat. 4-match series, 30 win, 15 tie, 10 draw, 0 defeat. And finally, in a 5-match series, 24 points would be awarded for a win, which is somehow fewer points than a tie in a shorter, simpler 2-match series, but who cares? 12 points for a tie, 8 points for a draw, and thank God for some consistency, 0 points for a defeat. Oh, and by the way, any team that was behind the required over rate at the end of a match would have 2 competition points deducted for each over it was behind, because why not? Now that we've fully understood the point structure, let's get down to the series. Remember, in fairness, each team plays 6 series, 3 at home, 3 away. Sure, the length of matches may be unfair for some teams, but at least all 9 of the 12 test nations get a fair and equal number of series, right? Wrong! Thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, in March of 2020, the second test match between Pakistan and Bangladesh was postponed. Later the same month, the 2-match series between Sri Lanka and England was also postponed. The following month saw Australia's tour to Bangladesh and the West Indies tour to England also being postponed. And in June of 2020, the 2-match series between Bangladesh and New Zealand and the 3-match series between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh were both postponed. South Africa's tour of the West Indies was also postponed, but this was only after the fixtures clashed with the West Indies' rescheduled tour of England, and not COVID-19. Classy. And in July of 2020, the ICC ultimately accepted several series would not even take place as part of the championship, and so after all of that math, they just changed the point system to account for the variation in the number of series played per team. Because who really cares at this point?
Nobody cares.
It's been 144 4 years. Just get the damn thing done, for God's sake. People have been born and died waiting for this to happen. Please, just finish it. So, India played 6 series, won 5, lost 1. They get into the finals. Sure, makes sense. But wait, England also played 6 series. They won 4, lost 1, and drew 1. But New Zealand, who only played 5 series, well, they won 3, lost 1, and drew 1, and they made it to the finals instead of England somehow. Even though England had a higher winning percentage, they played 21 matches, while New Zealand only played 11 matches. Literally almost half as many. Remember all that math about fairness? Well, since New Zealand won 7 of their 11 matches, and England only won 11 of their 21 matches, but remember, they won more series, but who cares about series points? This is Test cricket. New Zealand had a higher percentage of points awarded to points available, even though England had a higher point total in general, as well as a higher percentage of series wins. And don't get me started on how Pakistan somehow played 5.5 series. Is that even possible? So congratulations, India and New Zealand. Good luck to both of you in the longest awaited championship match in the history of the human race. And people say cricket is complicated. I just don't get it.
I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.